Hi, my name is Steve Major. I hope you're having a good day. My topic for today is don't play the blame game. The reason I want to talk about this is because I think a lot of times I see a lot of patients stuck in a pattern where they feel that they can blame others for their situation, and I don't really feel that that's the right answer. As I say in all my videos, this is just me giving some feedback and information to challenge you to think about different things in your life. It's not that I necessarily know better, and as always, if you're in crisis and you really need some help right now, that you reach out for that help. If you need to call the crisis line, you need to go to local emergency, or if you're really in distress and you really need help, make sure you reach out to someone that you can get some assistance from right now. So the blame game is something that we all have participated in at some point in our lives. And what I mean by that is that there's always a tendency for us not to want to take ownership of our own problems, our own crap in our lives. And what we have a tendency to do is blame others for our situation, blame others for the reason that we are the way we are. You know, if my mother had treated me better, or if my father hadn't, neglected me, or if, my employer took better care of me, or if other people treated me differently, my life would be different. And I think we all can fall into that habit and that rut where we're blaming other people for things that we may not realize are related more to us and how we view the world. I think that the reality of happiness is that it doesn't come from how much we have. It's more related to how we view how much we have. If I have very little, if I have a house or even an apartment and I have a job and I'm happy with that, it's because I've decided that's enough. I could be the wealthiest person in North America and feel like it's still not enough and be unhappy. So it's not about what we have as much as how we view what we have. So oftentimes we look at ourselves in a way, if we're not happy with our situation, it's easier to look to others as a cause for our unhappiness rather than say, well, what part did I play in getting to where I am? Now, sometimes if you didn't play a part in getting to where you're to, and there is blame to be laid, that's fine. You can say it's because of this situation that happened, whatever the situation may be, but it doesn't change what you can do about it. The only thing you can do about it is take ownership of your situation and say, how do I fix this? Because the rest of it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got there. If I was distracted when I'm driving and I end up in a ditch, I can't take back what's happened. If I'm not doing what I should have been doing, and then something bad happens, well, I could say, well, it was because someone called me at that time and I was distracted and I ended up in the ditch. Well, it doesn't matter at that point in time. We can blame people for what happened, but once you're in the ditch, am I going to survive? Maybe if I'm broke up from the injuries, can I get myself healed and then get back on my life and make sure I don't make that mistake again? So instead of getting into a situation where I blame others for what happened, well, I take ownership for what I control. And for the parts that I don't control, I say, well, I don't control that. If I don't control things, accepting what I don't control can give me some peace in my life. If you can't control other people, and you can't control that you can't get a different job and the job you're unhappy with, you can change your viewpoint and say, I can't get a different job. I can choose to be unhappy with this job, or I can say, I'm just here because I don't have another choice, and then I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to make the best of it. So I think the blame game is a way for us to get away from taking responsibility for our own situation in a way that then we can actually make the changes that we need to. If we take responsibility for ourselves and what we've done, and we make a decision to actually take ownership of that situation, then there's a possibility that I can create a different existence. I can create the happiness I want. I can create the situation that I'm looking for, rather than living in the past, which is done, I have no control over. I can say, whatever's done is done. What am I doing today? What am I doing today? Because if you take care of today, if you take care of yourself right now and you take care of your situation right now, you'll have a good future. If you take care of you, you're going to be healthier, you're going to be better. If you take care of your situation, things will get better over time. So the blame game, we all fall into it. If so-and-so hadn't done this, if this, stop it. Get away from that habit of looking for others to blame for your situation. Look to what you control in the situation you're in and exert that control. How do I change me? How do I make myself more available to actually grow as a human being and be the person I want to be? And in that situation, maybe things will improve. But if you're in a situation where there was blame, and I've seen situations where I've had lots of patients who've had significant trauma, emotional trauma, at some point in your life, the bad chapters in your life you need to close. Now it's easier for me to say it because I haven't had bad chapters to do that. But from a point of view of your health, at some point if you close those chapters and say, what did I learn from that? If I didn't learn anything, it doesn't matter. If it's done and if the bad things happened to me that I had no control over, it's still done. How do I put those things behind me and still have the life I want? And I think it's a conscious decision we can make to overcome that challenge and say, those bad things that happened that I blame in my life, whatever they were, are done. How do I come back to the present? How do I come back to right now and exert the control? I am the variable. I can have what I want in my life. I can control myself. I can get back to where I want to be, or get to where I want to be if I exert that control. This ultimately comes back to because I believe in you. I believe that what you're struggling with can be overcome. But it can only be overcome if you take some ownership of your situation and decide what you want to do for yourself to make it better. It's never going to happen when you're in a place that all you do is blame others for your situation, rather than to say, I'm going to make today the best opportunity for me to grow and have what I want. So if you're stuck in that blame game, how do you stop that habit? Create the habit that today is a new day, today is a new opportunity, today is the point at which I'm going to stop that. When do you start your life over and make a new story for yourself? You are the author of your existence. You're the author of your biography. I find it interesting that so many people write biographies because in my experience, there's not one person that I've spoken to that doesn't have an amazing story of their life. I think we sometimes put other people up on pedestals for their stories. Everybody's story is amazing. Humanity and our life existence is an amazing fact in itself. And so get away from where you were in the past, come back to the present, stop the blame game, take ownership of your own situation and figure out what you have control over, and then get on with your life in a way that then you can recapture your future by taking care of right now. As always, I'm hoping this challenges you to think about your situation, but it's just my opinion. Remember, I believe in you. You got this. Be brave and just live. Thanks, and have a great day.